Hi, I'm Linda Stout. I'm the past president of the Macomb Symphony Orchestra Board of Directors, and with me is Thomas Cook, who is music director and conductor for the symphony. Hi, Tom.
Hi,
Good
Linda.
to see you
Good
again.
to see you. Absolutely.
We'd like to talk about the symphony today and about the upcoming concert season. Can you tell us a little bit about the first concert, Tom, and when it's going to be?
The first concert's the 7th of October, which is a Friday night. It'll be at the Macomb Center for the Performing Arts, and it'll be at 8 o'clock. And the theme is Finlandia. We're doing a concert of Finnish music, which we have done in the past, but not for many, many years, and have with us the Finnish-American choir from the Livonia area to sing some of the well-known pieces that the Finns would know and non-Finns would know alike, Finlandia being the main piece that they are proud of.
Yeah, that's an interesting piece of music. It was outlawed at one time, wasn't it?
It was. When the Russians were in charge of Finland, they couldn't perform it.
Yeah.
That's right.
And it's such a beautiful piece of music. It's too bad that
Yeah.
I suppose the Finns, it's very important to the Finns.
It is indeed, yeah.
And this is the 42nd year for
It
the
is.
orchestra, isn't it?
Doesn't seem possible, but it is, yes.
Yes, and for you too, right?
And for me, yeah.
Yeah, it started in 1974.
That's right. Yeah, I have to stop and think. You're correct, yeah.
Yeah. And what about your next concert? You're having a Christmas concert,
We
right?
do, and traditionally in the early December time we do something of a Christmas theme. Last year we did a concert based upon movies that had Christmas-related music, or maybe I should say Christmas-related movies that had musical themes, and we thought that was so popular that we're doing it again. We'll have some narration and some film clips, and then we'll play the music that's appropriate to that particular either TV program or movie.
Yeah. You know, that sounds like something families could start a tradition and bring their friends and their families to a Christmas concert like that, because there's free parking. And now tell us about the location where you perform.
Well, most people I think in the area know that we're at the Macomb Center, or they know where the Macomb Center is, at Hall and Garfield. And having mentioned the Christmas concert and your introduction to bringing children, we will have Santa Claus there. And he will distribute candy to the children, and we'll have a good time beyond the music and beyond the film clips, and it should be a concert that all the family will enjoy being at.
You used to sing Christmas carols at the end. Do you still do that?
We do that. We encourage the audience to participate at that point.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a good evening.
Yeah, it is
It's
a fun
It's
evening.
a nice
Yeah.
evening. Now, since you perform at the Macomb Center, are you part of Macomb Community College?
No, it's all very confusing because I'm on the faculty at Macomb College, and people who know me know that. But the orchestra is totally independent of the college. We happen to be using not only the college's name, but also the county's name. So we are the Macomb Symphony, and some of the orchestras in the area, the community orchestras, have municipalities as their name, as in Birmingham, Bloomfield, or something like that. But we are the Macomb Symphony at the Macomb Center, but that's where the relationship comes to an end. We are a rental for the Macomb Center in terms of how we have a relationship with them.
Okay. Yeah, so you're a separate nonprofit organization, is
We
that
are,
right?
Indeed. In fact, we survive, hopefully thrive, on money that we raise independently. Ticket sales, of course, being the most obvious thing. But the sale of ads and foundations and grants and things of that kind, they all accrue to keeping us financially sound.
Now, who runs the symphony? How
The
does it
symphony is
operate?
run by a board of trustees, board of directors, I guess as they're officially called, that meets periodically once a month to direct the orchestra, to address fundraising concerns and issues and things of that kind. And they're members of the community who have either expertise in music or expertise in knowing people in the community who have a few dollars that they can send our way.
Now, I know you have a really interesting fundraiser coming up in November.
We do.
Do you want to explain that?
Yeah,
one?
I'd love to. The Auto Museum at 26 Mile and Gratiot, roughly, just west of Gratiot, the Stall Auto Museum is a remarkable place that I knew nothing about a year ago. It's full of all kinds of exotic, I guess that's not too strong a term, cars that date back to pre-World War I and up until the 1970s and 80s. It's just a remarkable place that was accumulated by a man named Stall, appropriately, and he just loves old cars. So we have viewed it last year. We're doing it again this year. It'll be on Wednesday, the 16th of November, and it's just south of 26 Mile, just west of Gratiot. And we'll have music there by members of the orchestra. We'll have a wine tasting and some food, and a great time was had by all last year. The orchestra board enjoyed it. Seemingly the audience enjoyed it, and it was a great exposure for people who don't know the orchestra, as well as people who just enjoy great antique vehicles. And there's a music room, apart from the cars, in which they have all antique automatons, basically, things that play music without live performers. So that's the location where we'll do the wine tasting, the eating, and the things that go with it. And then we go into the next room and we have these 70 or 80 remarkable cars.
Now that's a Wednesday in November. Did you give the date?
I think I did, the 16th, yeah.
The 16th,
yeah.
yeah. Well, it
Tickets
doesn't
are-
hurt to mention it a couple
It does not,
times.
indeed, right.
Okay. What about concert ticket prices? Do you want to go over the prices of
can.
our concerts?
Yeah. We used to have differentiating prices for different concerts based upon the content. And this year we've made it all uniform. The price for reserved seating, I have to remember it's reserved seating, is $24 with an $18 price for seniors and students. And they're available from the box office at the Macomb Center.
And you can also buy seasons tickets.
And you can buy
right?
season tickets. If you buy the series of 4 concerts, it ends up being 1 free. So you pay for 3 and you get 4.
That's a good offer right
Yeah.
there. And you also have a website. You can buy tickets off the website.
That's right.
At the ticket office at the Macomb Center.
It's linked to the Macomb Center box office, that's right.
And I see that you're on Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah.
Twitter.
All kinds of social media.
Okay, that's great.
MacombSymphony.org is the address.
Okay. In addition to the full concerts at the Macomb Performing Arts Center, you also have some other concerts that you do. You have a youth concert in the spring, which I've attended several times, and I find that very worthwhile for the students.
Thank you.
And they're very attentive. You have a whole auditorium full of children, quiet and paying attention.
Yeah.
So do you want to talk about what
Sure.
you do to get them so quiet?
Right, well, I'm not sure, except we play good music and we tell them things that they're interested in hearing. We play a variety of music, everything from Broadway show tunes and popular pieces to classical pieces, little vignettes of things, nothing in great length. And then we talk a lot. I hate to use the word lecture, but we tell them about the members of the orchestra in terms of their instruments at least, and each one demonstrates. And we do a 50-minute performance. We do 2 of them actually on the same day. And the target audience is 3rd through 6th graders. And many of them come by bus if they're public school students. Some of them come by car if they're homeschoolers or parochial school students. And the charge is only $3. There are no real tickets. There are no paper tickets per se. So you deal with the Macomb Symphony office and you obtain passes basically from us rather than going to the box office for tickets. But $3. So we usually service somewhere in the neighborhood of 2,000 students between those 2 performances.
It's a good field trip.
It
very
is.
worthwhile,
Thank you.
very educational.
Yeah.
Yes, and you also often do summer concerts in various parks in the
That's
area.
right. Yeah. For many, many years we did them at Stony Creek. That has not materialized in the last 2 or 3 years, but we used to do those. And we've been in several of the other parks, including Shelby, the park there on City Hall grounds, and Dodge Park in Sterling Heights and other places as well. We also have chamber music groups that go out occasionally, and they'll play for graduations or weddings or other formal occasions. They go out a string quartet or a duo for flute and harp or what have you that are all busy and all the time performing for specific occasions.
What if I wanted to hire the brass section? Would they come?
They would come, and they'd be happy to come. That's right.
So strings, brass, woodwinds, whatever.
Strings, brass, woodwinds, percussion. Yeah.
Yeah, percussion, whatever you needed.
Yep.
So that would be great. Or a harpist or
That's right.
whatever, that
Yeah.
type of thing. Yeah. Well, who makes up the Macomb Macomb Symphony? How do you get your musicians?
Well, I've known people as a performing musician myself, so I've known a lot of people around town. But we also have people who periodically address us through the website or through email or through a phone call and let us know that they're interested in playing. And there's an audition. So if they pass muster, they're often added to the orchestra if there's a spot in the orchestra for them. And that's usually strings that we're in need of. The winds are fairly substantial from year to year. So based on a passing of an audition and having the requisite skills to play symphonic music, they're added to the orchestra. It's a paid ensemble, so it's not a matter of people coming in voluntarily. And we have people come from Windsor, and we have people coming from Ann Arbor and Flint and Toledo, Ohio, and some distances, not all of course, but some come quite a distance to play this great music in a great hall, by the way, the Macomb Center.
Oh, yes. And I've been part of the group at Afterglows and whatnot. There's a lot of good camaraderie,
That's right.
and you've had many members that have come back year after year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So it's a
There are
great
people,
thing.
there are 3 or 4 people. We had a concert in downtown Mount Clemens 2 years ago, and we awarded people who'd been in the orchestra 25 years, and there were quite a number. There was about 15 or 20 of them who've been there that long. Now, of course, that's not everybody. We hire an orchestra of about 70 or 72, depending on the music and the availability of the players. So it's, you know, not the huge number, but I have 3 people in the orchestra that have been there as long as I have, so a good long time.
Sometimes you hire some real unusual musicians or sound effects, like the cannons.
Yep.
For that one overture, 1812
Yeah.
overture.
Yeah.
Can't remember the name. And what are some of the other unusual things
Oh
you've
my,
had to do?
going back in time, I
Remember?
wasn't expecting that. We've had a quartet of harmonica players at one point. We've had a Dixieland band with us on occasion. We've had a jazz band with us on occasion, specific compositions in that case for jazz band and symphony orchestra. So we've had everything, I think, at one point or another, most of which are, of course, classical orchestral instruments, but a lot of them aren't. So it's always great, and the audience seems to enjoy it. And we've had numerous vocal groups, by the way, over the years, small to large.
Yeah. Now the orchestra is paid modestly. I mean, they couldn't make a living off
No.
of it. It's a professional community orchestra. And the board of directors also are all volunteers.
That's right.
They're all volunteers. They're not paid. But you do hire one student every year, and you want to explain some of their duties. I think it's maybe you want to just talk about the music library that you have, and you hire a student to help with that, don't you?
We do occasionally, yeah. We have sources of music in-house, music that we own. We have to rent music periodically for certain pieces that are under copyright. And we have quite a large library of music that needs to be addressed periodically, including the storage of it. So we have volunteers that help with mailings. We have volunteers that help with the library. And I have one full-time, well, not full-time, but I have one paid assistant who handles personnel and library materials. And she works about 20 hours a week.
And it's usually a student, right?
It often is.
sometimes?
Right at the moment, I have a person who's been with me for a number of years who is paid by us. But we do have volunteers as well that come in and volunteer their assistance in whatever skill level they have.
And that's great.
Yeah.
Even though you're not part of the college, you appear in the program book because you are a tenant of the Macomb
That's right.
Symphony, or the Macomb Performing Arts
That's
Center.
right.
Yeah, so if people look at that large brochure that comes out every year,
They can find us.
they will find you. And that goes to every household, I believe.
As far as I
in-
know,
in
yeah,
the county.
in the county, yeah.
So that's a good advertisement.
They call us a community partner. There's several community partners, some dance groups, some other orchestras, and what have you, that are brought into the center and perform there once or twice, or in our case, 4 times a year.
You also mail to the to the general public this brochure, or something similar every year. Explains all the concerts that you have.
That's
It's
right.
a 4
Dates,
concert
costs,
season.
and some degree of the content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that goes to your own mailing list then, right?
Right.
Is that
Or
right?
anybody else who may be in the lobby of the Macomb Center, or maybe some school or some restaurant, wherever they can be found.
Yeah. So to wrap up, I would just like everybody to know that Symphony has a website if you need more information. It's macombsymphony.org. It is a .org website. They are also on Facebook and Twitter. You can call the Symphony office at 586-286-2045. Tickets can be obtained over the website or by going to the Performing Arts Center ticket office. And there is a $4 fee for getting tickets.
That's right,
isn't there?
regardless of the number of tickets. That's
I
right.
don't think anybody buying tickets for anything nowadays can't buy a ticket without a surcharge of some
Pretty much.
kind, right?
That's right, yeah.
So unfortunately, Symphony has their own. Was there anything else that we didn't cover, Tom, that you
We
wanted to
might
talk
want to
about?
mention the phone number for the box office, which is 586-286-2222.
Yeah. How
and
could I forget that?
That's an easy one to forget with those 2s at the end.
Yeah. So, well, it was great to see you
Yeah,
again
great to
and
see
to
you.
talk to you.
Yeah.
I have a soft spot in my heart for the
Thank you.
symphony, and I hope a lot of people in the
Yeah,
county do.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
You take care now.
You too, Linda. Thank you.
Thank you.